There are different ways to use Linux. The way I'm using it right now and creating this course is using it as a desktop. This is when you install it directly on your computer and usually run it with a graphical interface along with using the command line. Another way to run it is using a live CD or a DVD. This will boot the operating system right off the CD, and you don't need to make any changes to your actual computer. This is good if you just want to try it out and see if the distribution is something you would like to install on your computer. It will run slower than when it's just installed on your computer though. You can also use some software from Oracle free of charge called Virtualbox. You just add the new machine, then add the ISO of the distribution you want to install in the settings and start it. Besides being able to emulate Linux, you could also run Mac OS X and Windows with it. This is also good if you want to run those operating systems on your Linux desktop. Your CPU will need to have the VTX option, otherwise it might be too slow for your taste. Another way to run it is just as a server. This would include just logging in remotely and typing in commands, so you wouldn't be using a graphical interface. This could be on a rack mount server or even a Raspberry Pi. You could still plug HDMI into a Raspberry Pi, but you could also just access it through the network. Phones also run Linux. Android uses the Linux kernel, and while iOS isn't Linux, it's still a Unix system. With Android, you can install an app called Terminal IDE, and it will allow you to use many commands that you will learn in this course. And finally, you can dual boot. This means you can have Windows and Linux installed on the same machine, but when you first turn on the computer, it will ask you what operating system to load into.